Denise with Wondubar Crafts. Today I am back with part 2 of the Easter Parade Traveler's Notebook Kit by Seneca Pond Crafts. And I have already cut everything out. I set all the ephemera aside. I today going to do the mini Easter journal and the signatures, and if we have time, the cover. So if you have not seen what the kit looks like, you can view the part 1 video by clicking up here on that link, and it will take you back to showcase the kit itself. And I will also have a link to her shop where you can purchase the kit if you'd like to craft along with me. If you're just hanging out and just crafting and doing your own thing, that's awesome too. Welcome, and I'm glad to have you. So let me go ahead and show you what I have done up to this point. I went ahead and cut out the mini journal, and I left the reinforcement strips still for the spine on the card. I just left them there because I'm probably going to need a larger strip to be able to use to sew the signatures in. I cut out all the signatures and then I glued them front to back because it is just a little mini journal that goes inside the traveler's notebook. So what I did was I tried to just kind of keep it in the color of the rainbow so that it went from pink all the way into a lighter purple. And I left the last one so we could do that one together so I could show you what I did. And we'll do that in just a moment. And then I also cut out all my signatures, and the coordinating background paper, I glued it to the inside and I scored so that I could fold it in half. And that is all I've done, other than pick out the other sheets of paper that the other things that I'm going to also put in between the journal pages. I separated them, since there are 10 journaling pages, I separated them into 5s because I'm going to do 2 signatures. And I didn't want them to be too thick, so I didn't pull out too much paper because there is plenty of journaling space on here already with the actual cover pages themselves, because they are just super duper adorable. If you have not gotten to this point, now would be a good time to pause and go ahead and get everything cut out, get your signatures backed if that's what you plan on doing, get all the papers you want to put inside the journal together, cut out the mini journal and have it ready to go. So you can go ahead and press pause now and go and take care of that, and when you come back we'll start with the mini journal. If you're interested in what you see and you'd like to go and purchase, go ahead and press pause. Down below is the link for Seneca Pond Crafts website where you can purchase the kit and download it. And if you have not seen part 1, it is also linked down in the description, but it's also up here. I'm going to put all these parts into a playlist so that at any time, if you don't have time to put it together now, you don't have to skip through a bunch of different videos to try and find them. They'll all be in one playlist for you. So I will be right back. So go ahead and pause, get your stuff done, and when you're ready, we'll continue. Alright, I am back, and what I have already done was cut the cover out, and I went ahead and scored the spine along the marks and the little fold-in tabs. And these little fold-down tabs, I went ahead and scored them and folded them down. These you will glue down so you will have a pocket on either side. And as I showed you before, I went ahead and glued front to back and scored them so that they will fold. And I will need to even these. I even the top and the bottom. I just have not evened the sides up yet. So what I wanted to do is show you how I glued these 2 pieces together. I mean, it's pretty straightforward and simple, but I just wanted to show you how I did it in case you have questions on on any of that. I hope everyone is doing wonderful. We are at 85 degrees today. And let me tell you, I was very tempted to turn my air conditioner on, but I'm not so sure I'm ready for that big old air conditioning bill yet. It's only April. I wanted spring to come, and it sure did. It came hot and heavy and fast, which kind of scares me a little bit because now I'm worried that we're really going to get hot this summer. Alright. So I like to glue one half together, and then I just kind of make sure that all that glue kind of spreads in here. You can use a ruler or something with a flat edge that you can push that glue in between there, back and forth. And then I just push any excess out so that it leaves my paper nice and smooth. If you've ever glued two pieces together, paper together, you know that sometimes you get those little ripples in there where you laid the glue if you don't kind of spread it out a little bit. It's just something I like to do. You don't have to. And then the other half. Yeah, we've had quite a few days in a row that it has just been beautiful, and it has been really hard for me to try and video. I had to wait till last night to get video started. When I got it going, I looked up and realized the screen was blank on my iPad. It had died, and luckily I had not gotten very far other than, "Hi, it's Denise." And my iPad died. And I thought I had checked it, and I thought it said 100%, but I must have been mistaken. So, and I was so tired yesterday, I just decided I would do it today. And waited till it cooled down just a little bit, because I am upstairs, so it is warmer up here than the rest of the house. Alright. I already pre-scored. That way it would be easy for me to go ahead and fold it. And let's see, I need to trim just a smidgen off the bottom there. To even it out. There we go. How about the top? A little bit off the top too. But I've been so excited to do this, and every time I've wanted to do something on this thing, something else pops up. And today I said, nope, not letting anything get in my way. I'm going to get this video done today. So here I am. I keep looking up, though, to make sure that I have not lost my iPad again. So, alright, so those are ready to be sewn in, and in the kit she gives some spine reinforcement strips. What I am going to do is cut a portion out so that I can sew these onto here and then glue them here, but I wanted to leave this excess portion here so I had a little bit of, you know, a thicker piece that I could hold on to do that, and then this piece I'll use on the back spine to cover the stitching. So let me go ahead and just cut up the middle on this. Alright, so we'll set this one aside because that will be for our back. And let's see, I think I'm going to leave these unglued for just now. I need to even up my edges here, so let me grab my big cutter and I will be right back. Hi everybody, I am back with my big chomper, and what I am going to do is take this very edge off so that it's even. So let me even that up and use a couple little binder clippers here. Keep those in place. And put my scissors on so I can see. Ooh, I don't know, this may not fit in here. Ooh, that's a tight fit. I don't know. Okay. There we go. Whew. That was a tight fit. Alright, so we got a couple that were a little straggly. But I think I can even those with some scissors. There we go. Nice and even. I'm going to go put this thing back, and we will start sewing this into the binder. Alright, I said we were going to sew it into the binder, but what I meant was we're going to sew it into the spine. So what I have already done is taken a piece of paper the same size as my signature, and I folded it in half, and then halfway again up and down, so it's vertical and horizontal to get my center where I'm going to use my center thread. And then I came up and folded a 1/4 inch from the top and from the bottom, and then marked it there. What I want to do is use a telephone book to poke my holes. Feed that right in the center. And find my little awl. And just poke all the way through. Oh, find that hole again. Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear that cardinal chirping. He visits quite frequently. I hear him every day, especially in the spring. He is loud. But I don't complain about it because he's a beautiful bird. There is that one poked through, and I am going to binder clip this so the pages stay and they don't shift. And then I'm going to take my little reinforcer spine and let's see, get this kind of even on here and just poke through. My pokey tool out just in case. Alright, because I can, once I sew these on here, I can easily cut around that. Cut that back down. So, find a needle with a big enough eye. There we go. And I pulled out some really pretty pastel DMC threads. And you can use wax thread, you can use any kind of bookbinding thread you want. I would not use all-purpose threads. They're, for this kind of project, if you want it to wear longer, I would use a embroidery floss or a heavier upholstery or an actual bookbinding thread to put any of your books together, or your traveler's notebooks, or even just the mini journals too. Alright, what color do I want to put on the spine? Kind of like the purple. So I think that's what I'm going to use. So we want 1, 3. And let me go ahead and cut that. Now I will definitely pull these apart, so I'll only use 3 of the 6 strings in the embroidery floss here. Okay, so let's pull these apart. 1, 2, and 3. And if you're wanting to do some additional decorating or sewing on your signatures, now is the time to do it. So go ahead and pause and do that before we sew in any of the signatures. I am going to sew on the larger signatures for the Traveler's Notebook, but not on these. I'll probably do a little bit of decorating. I have some other things in mind to decorate. Oh my goodness, this is just being a pain in the booty. Come on, there we go. Alright. But like I said, now would be the time to go ahead and decorate anything you want to put on there now. Go ahead and do so before you sew the signatures in. If you are enjoying what you're seeing and you have not already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, and if you don't mind, hit the like. It always helps. And hit the reminder bell so you'll be reminded of the next time I upload a video for this series. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in my little middle hole and pull it down. I like to clip my thread right under my binder clip so it holds it in place for me, and through the middle hole on my spine, down through the bottom, alright, it's a lot of cardstock to go through. This is probably one of the harder parts to putting a journal together, is sewing in your signatures. Alright, and then I'm going to go all the way to the top. And back in through the middle. Kind of like the 5, but obviously there's 2 less holes. But you just kind of do the same thing where you make the thread go all the way through the center from top to bottom, and then you end up back into the center. Well, goodness, I know the hole is there. Don't want to push too much, and because if you try to force it, you could end up putting bigger holes in the other pages of the journal, which every time you open and close the journal or you flip through the pages, it actually weakens the page, which is something I don't want to do. Okay, so pull it tight. I've got a thread coming on either side of the center thread, and then I'm just going to do a crossover and then a crossover again to make a knot. Ooh, maybe, there we go. And then I'm going to leave these, I'm not going to dangle anything off, but I am going to kind of cut them even, but I will probably put something like glue them on there with some, maybe with some little butterflies or something later. But for now, that portion is done. Yay. Yeah, I was feeling pretty rough yesterday. I thought, oh no, I'm aching all over. I hope I'm not getting this crud that's going around. And I woke up today not feeling too bad, so I don't don't think so. Hopefully it skipped over. There is that. And now what I have to do is carefully cut my little spine piece out here. And get my hands to cooperate. And doing it that way gave me something more to hold on to instead of a very thin strip. So I don't normally do spines that are this small, but it was so cute I couldn't help it. And I know some people do those little minis. Whew. I don't know. It's a lot of hard work on your fingers. Okay. And she did give an extra one, so if you want to sew it all the way through your spine and through the booklet itself, you could easily do that if you wanted. Okay. And what I might do is, just to give some extra stability, put that piece of thread there, is cut this piece out and glue it to the back to cover the thread. Since you're not going to see it, because I didn't go all the way through the booklet anyway, which you certainly can. You can do it any way you want. I just decided to do it this way. And then I'll put this on the back side, and then I'll have a flat edge to glue on the inside of the cover. Alright, glue. Oh, goodness. Ugh, glue stuff all over my fingers. Hold on, let me get a wipe. Alright, I think I need to get some new wipes because these ones are kind of starting to dry out a little bit, I think. Alright. Just a real thin strip there. And we mowed our lawn today for the first time. Oh, it was crazy thick. Which, okay, let's see, was, well, you're not supposed to glue it there, Denise. It took my son, I helped him a little bit, but he did the majority of it. It took him 2.5 hours because the lawn was so thick. So he had to cut it at one level and then go back over it at a lower level. And I'm sure he was not having some nice things to say about having to go over that over and over and over again. Because he went through it and I was like, it's still too long. Cut it a little bit shorter. Mom, no. Alright, and then let's glue that spine in. All those cute little signatures. I'm just having glue issues today. Just let that stick in there a little bit. And the reason why I did not want to close this off, because I think I have some strips left over from cutting down. I backed the Traveler's Notebook signatures with the background paper, and I have some strips left, so I think I'm going to put a little in here, and I might do some more decorating later when we get to the ephemera part and the tags and, you know, all refill the journal. But do it now before I glue down these side flaps, the side pockets. So, alright. Now, let me, I'm trying to let that dry. Just let that dry. Figure out if these are big enough to I don't need the whole thing in here covered, just the part that you're going to see. And let's see, what do we have? We could do maybe a purple or that color in the front. That kind of matches that one. And that in the back. It's not too terribly off. I should have printed a whole other color, but I didn't. So, but you can certainly put anything you like, or you could leave it completely white. You could ink it. I have not inked any of this. It's kind of Eastery and springy, so I don't think I will be doing any inking on it. Kind of want it with that white background. I might do just a smidgen, but it won't be much. It'll probably be more like the vintage, the antique linen color, because it's lighter than antique photo. Should fit in there. I think it's the tabs. There we go. Yeah. Alright. Now, is this the side that I want? Or do I want that side? So we'll glue this one down too. I think I need to take stock in Beacon. Oh goodness. A lot of times what I do is I like the small bottle because it fits in the palm of my hand better than the big one. I don't have to squeeze as hard. So I take the big ones and I refill the little container with it. It's much easier on the hand, I think. Oh, I put that on backwards. Darn it, Denise. Getting a little ahead of myself. But I think we all do that from time to time. Right? I'm sure I'm not the only one that happens to. Put something on totally upside down and then you're like, really? So it's either you leave it the way it is or you hope you can peel it off without doing any damage. And then if you left it to dry, you're just kind of like, oh well, it is what it is. Right? And don't forget, you guys, I am having that giveaway. I'm going to be drawing for that on the 19th, which is a Friday. I think it's next Friday. And for that snippet roll, that boho snippet roll that I made. And I'm going to put the link up here. So if you want to go check out that video, you can. And it will also be in the description box below. I like being able to put a link there, so you don't really have to stop the video to go. Oh, I did not want. Did I put that across there? I did. Oh, goodness, Denise. Maybe I am coming down with something. I just I think it's straight. All right. But anyway, we'll get all that off so it doesn't stick on there. But like I was saying, I like being able to put that link up there, so I like being able to click on a link up here instead of having to scroll down and miss part of the video to find another video, you know. Because then that way I can open it, it opens in a different tab, and I can just push pause and then watch it next when I'm done watching the video I'm currently watching. Kind of cool. Oh, goodness. Glue everywhere. Ah! Alright, so we got a little pocket here. Let me slide a little something in there so that if there is any glue on there, it's not going to stick to that. It'll stick here, so that's kind of what I want it to do anyway. Alright. There we go. Let me leave that in there, just in case. I'm peeling glue off. One of those days. Alright, let's see. Do I like that side? Yeah. It's kind of the same as the other with the two stripes there, so let's make sure that fits. Yeah, I'm going to have to trim the top just a little bit again. There we go. Alright, let's see if we can do this side without gluing everything together. All I can do is laugh. Right? No sense in getting on, beating myself up over it. Worst comes to worst, I can always make it again. Not a big deal. I know, but you spent so much time cutting everything out, it is frustrating, but you know. It happens. Goodness, I just got glue everywhere. Alright. No, I don't want to glue that down like that. So, this time I'm going to do what I should have done, was glue just the tabs here. And there. But, you know, I'm not going to sweat it, right? Because it's entertainment for you guys. You guys can laugh at me. And say, that's silly Denise over there at Wondubar Crafts. She is something else. She just makes me laugh. She's such a goober. Yep. Alright, so I will make sure that that's squared off there. And there is our little Easter Parade mini journal. Alright. No glue sticking in there. I think I'm safe to take this piece out now. Alright. And then I will probably come back later and do some other little embellishments on it. Maybe put a little lace spine. And we'll go through that later when we do some embellishing, last minute embellishments on it. So that is the mini journal done. And then it is time to move on to the signatures for the Traveler's Notebook. And so let me get some of this cleaned up because I have glue all over, so I want to go wash my hands, and I will be right back. We are back to do the signatures. I have 10 of these double-sided panels, and I'm going to split them 5 and 5 to make 2 signatures. So what I did was I pulled out and cut down papers that I wanted to put in between each of these. They might be a little thick, but that's why I do my signatures first before I do my cover. That way I know about how thick my spine needs to be. So let's see, let's go ahead and start these one at a time. And this is the first one, and I did back them with that background paper. I scored it, then glued it, and then that way it was easier to fold in. And I took a piece of Kool-Aid dyed paper. So I'm going to fold all this stuff up and then insert it in and cut them down. Well, if I can fold it even. Oh, I don't know, it must be just one of those days. Alright, and then I'm going to put a coffee filter in there. I know a lot of people make pockets of these. These are those Kool-Aid dyed ones that I had made. And I still have a couple of those springtime kits. It has the Kool-Aid, all the pastel colors of the Kool-Aid dyed paper and coffee filter and index cards and all that. And you can find the link to my Etsy below if you're interested in that. But you can write on them, so I thought that would be kind of cool to put in there. And I think, and I have these Easter cupcake holders from last year, so I thought I'll go ahead and use them up. So you can definitely, actually, you know what I might do? I might glue that on there. I think that would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? So let's do that. Yeah. Okay. You never know what you come up with until you start putting stuff together, right? Actually, I think I want to use this glue. I'll just tack it on here. I don't want it too thick, because it is a coffee filter. See if I can kind of eyeball and get that in the center a little bit. There we go. It's kind of cool. There we go. Try and see if I can get this fold out of there. Clip that and set it to the side, and as I add, I'll put it in there. Okay, so I backed this one with the peach color, pinky peach, and I used a piece of avocado dye because it was the closest to the color, because my pastel pinks were much pinkier. They weren't as peachy from the Kool-Aid dyeing. Put some music paper, and because it's so big I don't want to cut it off, so I'm going to make this into a pocket, and because there were words on the back here, so let me see if I can fold this in half here first. And then I'll have a little pocket in there. doesn't have to be exact. It can come down a little bit that way. You don't have to do much trimming with it. I've already trimmed these papers, the top and bottoms. And then fold that. Where is my bone folder? Yeah, it looks like it started to get cloudy about 6:30, so we may get some storms tonight. I don't know. Might cool it down a little bit. I love spring. I really do. I love all the colors. I love that everything's growing, but I do not like the weather it sometimes brings, because when it gets really hot like this and then real cool at night, we get tornadoes. So that I'm not looking forward to, but everything else about spring I love. And we have a little music page in there that's a pocket. Down a little bit. Alright. And I did the orange. I backed this one with the yellowy, the gold. It's kind of more like a honey color. So I used the orange color, Kool-Aid colored in this one. And a little doiling that I also Kool-Aid dyed. All that comes in that kit. Let's see if we can get this to, I think my son is home. And that is why my dog is barking, because somebody's in the driveway. And I don't want to put anything over that because I like the polka dots on that one. So that one done. Alright, that is another signature, or another pocket page in here. And I snuck off and had a root beer float. My son brought home stuff to make root beer floats. I thought that was super sweet. It was good. It was a nice little treat because it has been so hot. It was 85 today. I already said that earlier, but whew. It went from, you know, mid-50s, 40s and 50s into 60s, 70s, and 80s in like 2 weeks' time. Crazy weather. And let me go back to that other one and put that other cupcake holder in on the other side of that one. Yeah, because we don't want it to do this. Yeah, right, Denise? There we go. I thought it was stuck on there. It just, I don't know, glue is just sticking to my fingers today. Alright, that's one signature kind of put together. We just need to even out the pages on it. And off to the second signature. Maybe it was all that root beer float and brain freeze going in my head. Let me grab my chopper out again, and I'm going to do it off camera. I'm going to straighten out the edges just like I did with the mini journal. Straighten these edges so they're all even, and then we will pick back up from there. So I cut and trimmed my signatures so they are all even, and I am ready to, I will of course do some lace and maybe some trim or ribbon or something, or some decorative stitching on them before I sew them into a cover. What I have yet to do is pick my cover. And I have these file folders, and they're all the same, but they are so pretty and so remind me so much of spring, and the colors are very similar to what's in the Traveler's Notebook kit, that I thought, why not? I've been hoarding them forever. Grab one out. And I think they're the same on, yes, they are. They are the same on both sides. The only thing is they are not scored. So I will need to measure and find out how wide I'm going to need my spine in there. And then obviously cut off. The only thing that stinks is cutting off that butterfly because it's so beautiful. I wonder if I could get like part of it in there like that, and oh, I don't like that though, that seam there. Oh, it's stinky binkies. What can I do? What can I do? Because if I put it in there, I'm going to end up cutting off some of that butterfly, and I don't want to do that. I wonder if I could get the score mark out of it, or some of it to lay flat. Of course, I could put a piece of lace, glue a piece of lace or something up that area, or some ribbon. To hide that seam. So that way I could cut this portion. I'd still have this butterfly on this end. My mind is racing. I guess I could do something like that, where you open it, and you got this butterfly here, right? And then open it this way and have some pockets here and pockets there, and then this sits inside, and then have like a tri-fold opening. And I might just have enough on the end here for a reinforcement spine if I needed to. Because I wanted to put some decorative stitching on the back spine. So, what do I want to do? Think, Denise, think. Give me just a second to think about this, and I will be right back. Alright, after about half an hour of deliberating and trying to figure out which way I want to do it, I'm going to do it in a trifold. because I really don't want to lose. If I cut it in half, I'm going to lose one of these butterflies, and I really don't want to if I can help it. So I had to do some figuring to figure out how to cut it so that I get the most out of it. Yeah, so I am going to need my long slicer. And of course you can do yours in half. If you have a different, obviously you're going to have a different file folder. If you are curious, I did get these at Tuesday morning. I got a whole packet of them. They're all the same though. They aren't different. So, but you can certainly use just a plain one and decorate it any way you like. Cover it with fabric. All kinds of different things you could do. Alright, so I want to cut off this little lip here and make it even. What I figured was, hopefully my math is good today. I don't know. So, 15. So, I marked this side 15, and I'm going to double check it and make sure, because this thing does not go all the way to 15 inches, so let me make sure that I've got a 15-inch mark here. 15 inches, alright. Oops, sorry. And that should give me at least an inch and a half, yeah, so that I can reinforce my spine for my signatures. Alright. It did cut off part of the butterfly here, but I think that is going to be, let's see, that will be my fold over, or do I want to go this way? And that will be my fold over. No, because I need to take that off the bottom. We need to cut, I don't know if I'm going to be able to cut this the right, let's see, I cut it this way. Alright, so for the height of the signature is 8 1/4. I want a quarter inch space between the top and bottom of the signature from the cover, so that's another 1/2 inch added. 8 3/4. Then I want to flip it up and have a 2 1/2 inch pocket. So that is 11 1/4. Make sure I take that piece off. So there we go. All right. Hopefully this works. If it don't, I'll figure something else out for the cover. I don't know what, but this is kind of what's been stewing in my brain for a while. So what I need to do is try and get this flattened out a little bit more, and I wish I really had one of those long scoreboards. It's times like this that I need to remember when I'm in the store going, do I really need that? Do I really need to spend the money on that? And I think I do. I think I need to get a bigger one because that is not going to fit. I'm going to have to shift it somehow. So, let's see. How do I want to do this? This is where my journal cover will come over. And then I think this piece is going to come over like this. Or do I want to do it this way? I could do it this way since I cut off that piece. And that way, that's the inner portion, and then I get the full butterfly effect on that. Yeah, that's what I want to do. So, here's where it's going to get tricky. And actually, guys, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. I will go ahead and score it and fold it, and then that will be the end of this portion, and then I'll do a third part to finish the cover and get ready to sew in the signatures. So, because yes, I'm going to sew these in. I am not going to elastic band them. I know a typical traveler's notebook, you can replace the innards, but I really prefer to sew mine in. Okay, yeah, I figured it out, and what I need to do is, if I'm going to leave a 1/4 inch at the end of my signature off the end of the folder, what my measurements now need to be are 4 5/8, then 5 5/8 for my inch spine, then another 4 5/8, which makes it 10 1/4. So let's add 4 5/8 and double check that, make sure that that is 10 1/4. It is. Alright, let's see. 4 5/8. And that should come out to 10 1/4. Okay. And then add an inch for that gusset spine. It's not really a spine, it's just the gusset that folds over. And that should put me at 11 1/4. Yep. And then that leaves 3 1/4 inches for my flap over, if that makes sense. So, before I do my flip up, what I want to do is try and score. I should have marked it on this end, shouldn't I? Yeah, I know. I know, Denise. Gooberhead. Alright, I'm going to mark this and I will skip through it and we'll get caught back up. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to try and score this on this little pad. I don't know how well this is going to work. I may have to like slide it down and do it in segments. But that's what essentially, if you've got a big scoreboard, it's going to make it a lot easier for you. Just go ahead and score it. I am going to go ahead and give this a try. Hopefully I don't mess it up. And I will come back as soon as I'm done scoring. Alright, I don't know how I did it, but I managed to do it. And it took a little time to get it done. However, I just did it very slowly. I had to shift it and turn it around and make sure it was all lined up, but I did manage to get it done. So, I think what I want to do is fold this up, and I'm going to have a pocket here, and a pocket here, and a pocket here. So if I fold it in this way, it's going to be, I think, difficult for me to try and cut these pieces out. I'm going to fold this up, and this will be my inside pocket. And yes, I guess I could do that, but it will make it much thicker for me to have to sew through. Because I am going to do some sewing, some decorative sewing on the spine. Try and get that flattened out. And then I think what I want to do is, where it's scored all the way down, where these spine pieces are, I am going to cut them out. I should be able to. So that'll be a pocket there, a pocket there, and a pocket there. And when I'm ready to get to that point, I can glue them down. But I want to get this folded in first. So this is how the journal will fit in it. Okay. And although we have this line back here, I will probably reinforce this portion of the spine. I'm going to reinforce it. In fact, I got some when I was out Monday. We stopped at Hobby Lobby up there in the city. And I bought some fabric and was hoping it would coordinate with this. And I think it does really well. I really like this peachy reddish pink, but I don't know if I want that much pink in there. But if I, like I said, I'm going to cover it, well, I can put a little lacy trim, or actually what I might do is put something, a strip of something in here to, like what's left over from that 1/2 inch there, and just reinforce that so it doesn't feel flimsy with that fold already there from the natural fold of the folder itself. But I love this fabric, and I got it at Hobby Lobby, like I said, but I think this one's going to be too much pink. But I got this one, which I really thought was springy, and it really went, I think, with the colors of the outside cover. It has just a little bit of gold sparkle in it, and then, of course the folder has no sparkle, but I think it screams spring. And you know, you do the cover, just the spines with those to reinforce the spine a little bit with that fabric. I think this one would be perfect for that. And although these are really pastel-y, I mean, these are going to be inside, like so, and then have that, and maybe put a little bit of lace trim or something around the edge, something that won't cover the pattern. It'll be over the top of it, but you can still see through it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that will be pretty. And of course we got, this comes out just a little bit, and so you got some room in there. Could possibly do like a little clip or something in here to put a pen, store your pen, or even up on the top, just clip it down here so it doesn't interfere with your signatures. Yeah. Once it's all even. Well, I think now is a good stopping point. I am going to do some drawings for the decorative stitching I'm going to do on the spine, and I'm going to cut out, just so you know, if you want to go ahead and pre-plan, I'm going to take this strip here, and I'm going to just cut it down into 1 inch the length of the folder. So that will be where I sew my signatures into this, and then I'm going to glue them there. But I'm going to do some fancy stitching that is going to go on the back part of the journal here. And I don't know yet. I want to use these pastel colors and kind of like a basket weave kind of thing to match the basket weaving I did with the Kool-Aid dyed paper. And I don't know if all of these colors would look good here, so I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm going to plan it out. That is where I'm going to end the video today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I know it was quite lengthy. Hopefully the next one will be a little shorter, and I won't be so scatterbrained. I blame I'll blame the ice cream, right? The ice cream or something along those lines. Anyways, thank you so much for hanging out. I promise it will not be days before I do the next video. In fact, I may go ahead and do the calculations and film it either tonight or early tomorrow morning. So, that being said, Hugs, love, and plenty of blessings. Mwah. Bye, guys.